Hi, welcome to PSI, Plan, Save and Invest. In this video, we talk about the possible outcomes of choosing America's lower tariffs or Russia's cheap oil, which could be beneficial to India. Before we deep dive, let's discuss the key critical points to be noted. These are not US tariffs but Trump's agenda. So it's not wise to blame the entire US government, companies, or their citizens. Tariffs are imposed on almost all countries, just not India. Imagine a G7 country like Canada is also retaliating. India does not need to worry about a strategic relationship with the USA because it is pinching. USA is pinching everyone, just not India. China is completely ignoring the USA and is not willing to respond to Trump's non-serious action. In the event of an economic disaster, such as rise in inflation or unemployment in USA, the question of sustainability of the tariff sustainability is questionable. The July unemployment rate spiked in USA and tourism also got impacted badly in USA. So we don't know how long these tariffs can be sustainable. After 6 months, if the economic scenario is different in USA, no doubt they might reduce all these tariffs. Considering Trump's actions are non-serious but just to believe, if India choose to buy Russian oil, accept 50% or higher tariffs, do not retaliate, let's see the consequences. Economic impact, advantages and disadvantages. The first advantage of buying low-cost oil. Low-cost oil saves at least $10 billion to $20 billion per annum. Strong forex reserves. This will increase the strong forex reserves and this can be used as a catalyst to boost the economy. On the counter side, it has a significant impact. The higher tariffs has a significant impact on Indian growth rate, particularly Indian growth rate. Currently, India is growing at 6.5% annually. According to Moody's report, the Indian growth rate can drop from 0.3% to 0.5%. So we might expect to grow at 6%, not like 7% or 8%. So the growth rate dent is there, no doubt about it. The second major important thing is supply chain shift. US buyers are redirecting orders to countries such as Vietnam and Bangladesh where tariffs are lower. So these two key disadvantages India has. Now what is the benefit? Second advantage of buying cheaper oil. The Indian current account deficit is narrowing down from the past few years, which will strengthen the Indian rupee, no doubt about it. Also, an increase in foreign reserve is beneficial during times of COVID and wars. In case of COVID and wars, forex reserves and oil, these two are the most important things than anything else. But on the flip side, $84 billion in exports are going to be impacted. Can we compensate for this by buying cheaper oil? This is $1 million question. I can't answer this, but government policies. Also, yes, if India can start buying oil in rupees instead of dollars, but this action will hurt the dollar and Westerns as well. But there is a hypocrisy. Many are telling that, Trump itself wants to de-dollarize the currency because he is unable to pay $1 trillion interest payment which is accumulating every year for the US government. So if they de-dollarize, this interest payment will come down and they can survive for a longer period. But we don't know how true it is. So there is also a hypocrisy that they are pushing BRIC countries to de-dollarize and blame BRICS instead of they do this action. So we don't know which one is true, but yeah, devaluing the dollar is necessary at this point of time, no doubt about it. Third key advantage of buying cheaper oil. Inflation in India is currently at 2.10 and according to Reuters, July inflation is expected to drop below 2% to 1.76%. This is a miracle. This will help the RBI to cut interest rates and boost economic growth. So this is one key advantage what we have buying cheaper oil. Cheaper oil can secure our energy, reduce the inflation, reduce the current account deficit, and it is very good for overall economy and all the citizens. Whereas on the counter side, sectors like gems and jewelry will be impacted, textiles and apparel, leather and footwear, auto parts, electronics, seafoods, machinery appliance, all the low to mid-level exporters and employees get hit very badly. This is really a bad scenario for these sectors. So also there will be a trade diversification. Indian exporters are likely to redirect their focus towards Europe, the Middle East and Southeast Asia, where tariff rates are lower. So economically there are three key advantages: inflation, strong currency, current account deficit narrowing. On the flip side, there are three key disadvantages. One is growth rate gets impacted and the sectors, primary sectors get impacted, and exports are also going to be impacted. What will be the impact on stock markets? Major indices have already corrected 5%. Nifty 50 is dropped 1200 points and is expected to drop 5% more and 10%. The rupee has depreciated nearly 2% in July, with further depreciation possible if outflow continues. The severity of economic impact is based on the seriousness of the tariffs. I don't think so they can sustain these tariff rates for a longer period. But these are short-term impacts, and long-term can be more beneficial if opportunities are used in the right direction. To counter the economic impact, India should explore more trade routes. Yes, this is very important to us. Stick to its foreign policy, be open to buying oil at a lower cost, and strengthen its currency. Bring more growth-oriented reforms. Now the current government should focus on growth-oriented reforms. This is very important at this point of time. Now, what is the impact on essential goods and transport? Most of us are concerned about only economic impact, but what about the essential goods and transport? Affordable fuel is equal to affordable food. Keeps buses, trains, trucks, ambulances running at a manageable cost. Supply chain is very critical thing. The fuel can add more value for a supply chain. On the disadvantages side, reduced export earnings could limit government welfare spending. Yeah, because exports got impacted, risking retaliatory duties on other imports as well. Humanitarian security is in crisis. At the time of COVID or war like with Pakistan, crude oil and forex reserves, these are the two things which plays vital role. In a COVID-like scenario, oil discounts helps goods move or prevent supply chain from collapsing. Avoid sharp spikes in food and medicine costs that could cause preventable deaths. So which is important? Yes, of course, essential goods are important than growth rate, but we don't compromise on both. The disadvantages side, shipping or insurance could face sanction related delays. So the severity of tariffs and retaliatory actions is dependent on with the time. We can't say that America is going to do this forever. Strategic impact, we no need to worry about strategic impact at this point of time, because almost all the countries are being angry on American tariffs. So let's not be more worried about strategic impact. Technology impact, AI and semiconductors, we need to be more alive with America and Western countries, just not sticking with BRIC countries, because if you want to build future AI and semiconductors, it's wise India choose the side of Westerns and USA. So if India choose to stop buying oil from Russia, it will enjoy lower tariffs. But will Russia stop the war? Absolutely no. China alone can absorb the volume. China's role, China buys far more Russian oil and gas than India, and provides industrial goods that Russia economy needs. The major problem with this option is that India will be bullied again. The US can raise oil prices and force India to buy at a higher price. Our dependency on the USA will remain forever and ever, like Nifty following S&P 500. Also, this option for the short term might affect a few sectors, MSMEs, but long term it could worse. We should remember how Sri Lanka, Bangladesh and Pakistan suffered during COVID due to lack of foreign reserves to buy crude oil at a higher prices. No Western country came to save them. The Russian Federation has its own rules and policies which they don't sell to every country. We survived COVID securing our energy. So if we say no to Russia at these times, and if we want cheaper oil at the time of our uncertainties, Russia may say no. So I don't think so. For unserious actions of Trump, we should close the doors of Russia. It is wise for India to stick to its foreign policy, keep its doors open to buy affordable oil, be patient and observe the geopolitics. In case of bad scenarios which are prolonging for a long time, absorb short-term losses and build long-term visionary. It is wise for India to buy oil in rupee terms. That can add a strong advantage. China is bigger problem for America, not India. The USA built China into a communist power which supports Russia. The USA would have diversified its manufacturing dependency 10 years ago to countries such as India, Bangladesh, Brazil, Canada and Sri Lanka to counter the China. But instead of supporting allies, America built enemies and suffering. And that pain is again being poured on allies. So this is the USA biggest problem. So it's not an India problem or China problem. I hope you enjoyed our video. If you liked our content, please like, share, subscribe and comment with your feedback. Thank you. Thanks for watching our video.